Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video I'm going to be ranking every single free-to-play LR, not necessarily in Z, A, S, whatever tier, but basically which ones you should consider getting, which ones are super usable, which ones are niche, which ones are easy to get and can be usable, and basically just give you an idea of which ones are worth your time. I'm also going to be saying which ones you shouldn't really focus on. There's a lot of things I'm going to consider here, but the main one's going to be the ease of getting them, the difficulty or the amount of resources required, how much content they can be used in. A lot of them won't be usable in top tier content, but if they're usable in clearing a whole bunch of beginner content for players, I'm not going to discount that, because I think people need to understand that that's a huge thing for free-to-play units. And then finally, how good they are at completing niche select missions. So yeah, let's begin. I have included World Tournament LRs, even though I don't really consider them truly free to play, especially now with the way they can keep adding them back. I think maybe they are probably units I would consider free to play. And I do have the special 1000 day and 3000 day Goku, although obviously I don't think you're gonna get a good review out of that from me. For units that I say you should get, I will give you a bit of information about how to get them. But if you do need more information, please look on my channel. There's plenty you can see there. Alright, so let's begin. Firstly, let's start with the units I think you definitely should get. So, Demon King LR Piccolo, currently the best free-to-play LR in the game. Absolutely insane, great extreme base support, can handle pretty high level content and fits on quite a few current high level extreme teams. Not necessarily those teams are super top level, but he's definitely a unit that's very usable among them. You get him from the Demon King Piccolo Super Warriors Edition Dragon Ball event, which recently came out the 10th anniversary, so he's very good from that aspect. On top of him, immediately I'm going to put Babidi. Babidi is a unit that cannot do super high level content, without a doubt. But what Babidi is, he is a great Ultimate Clash unit, he is a great early game support unit, he is a great unit to use in LRZAs, he has tons of sealing, stunning, supporting, and he leads 130% in human deeds, which is an incredibly exclusive category. For me, Babidi does a lot of great work. I've used him relentlessly in Ultimate Clash. He shines there for me every single time. He's an incredibly great unit to use. On top of that as well, we're going to throw in, of course, Prime Battle Frieza. This guy still to this day is so helpful. He is not going to do endgame content, but he links fantastically with any big bad boss centric extreme unit. He has legendary power, which makes him absolutely amazing for LRZAs, and he has very high base stats. So he's great as a floater. He can still hit 5-6 million, and generally speaking, he's just good to really have for that early to mid game. If you're running any kind of Wicked Bloodlines team, he's a super helpful free to play option to get. He's not relatively difficult to get because he's a Prime Battle LR, and I think he's really worth your time. Of course, in terms of basically the same thing, but just really easy to get, is good old Greatest Warrior Goku. Greatest Warrior Goku you get automatically from starting the game. He's a character that is going to help you tremendously with 130% Saiyan Saga lead for a great free-to-play team, but a character that has a great support system that can work on a ton of other teams. Goku's family, Kamehameha, full power. He's really solid because he's super easy to get. Honestly, he's automatic. Next, alongside him, I'm going to put both, not this Ginyu Force, sorry. I'm going to put this Ginyu Force, and I'm going to put Strength LR Vegito. So Tech Ginyu, the LR is incredibly easy to get. He leads the LR Ginyu Force team very well. His EZA is super easy to do, and that Ginyu Force team, when they EZA, can clear a ton of Space Traveling Warriors missions, Psionic Namek missions. He's really good. His counterpart good old Mr. Physical version is definitely someone you can use, but he's way more difficult to get. His battlefield currency, I actually want to do this. Let's add a row here. There we go. So his cost is quite high. He's like 1.6 million battlefield currency. So for new players, that's like I think 4 battlefields. In this day and age, it's not necessarily so worth it when you consider there's so many battlefield currency LRs out right now. I think the thing that saves him is that his team is highly accessible, and the other battlefield currency LRs, barring one, which I'll mention shortly, aren't amazing. They're not terrible, but they aren't insane. So I think for me, in terms of, you know, like a lot of content, he's still really helpful. He pairs amazing on that free-to-play team. So I think he is definitely worth it. And the same line, I'm going to be adding the androids. They don't cost a lot in terms of currency, but they are definitely units that are harder to get. You have to basically do, I think it's like 25 Dokkan events and get them from friend summons, which requires a lot of friend points. It's a costly process to EZA them in terms of time and effort, but they are still really useful. I use them in Ultimate Clash. I use them on my Extreme AGL teams. Their support capabilities are great. Their attack lowering is great. They do a lot still. And I really think that they're still very useful in those Ultimate Clash, SBR, ESBR situations. They give a lot of ki, they flood the team with ki, they're helpful for androids teams. They're good against superclass units still. They're not going to do super amazing high level content, but they're really, really quality and really, really top notch. At the same time, I also like to put their Great Sandman 1 and 2 for a similar reason. Great Sandman 1 and 2, same thing, friend summon, etc. Their usability comes from their utility, 70% defensive support, 2-turn attack raise, and the seal. Yes, they can't hold their own in super endgame content anymore, but against extreme enemies, they give you a ton of support. They're useful for Ultimate Clash, they bring a ton of utility, they're great for early game, they got a good lead as well, as long as you use 5 different types of units. They're very, very, very solid. Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the units that are definitely going to be in the not usable pile, because, yeah. So we have, firstly, for me, Oob, not worth it. Hercule, not worth it. The Tech, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, not really worth it. The Int Goku, also not really worth it. Int Vegeta, unfortunately not really worth it. At this point in time, the AGL, Bulma, and Goku, not really worth it. And well, they have a slight usability, but yeah, basically all these ones here are classified for me as not really worth it. Oob just doesn't bring enough to the table, doesn't fit on GT Heroes, just doesn't do enough. His EZA wasn't good enough, didn't give him enough utility, he's not there. Hercule, a fun character, but in essence just doesn't work anymore. Gohan, Trunks, and Goten, cool concept, decent lead, just also again not really fitting anywhere specifically. Int Goku has a pretty decent lead after EZA, is an okay support, but just doesn't do much else, and there's not anything that makes him super relative. Int Vegeta unfortunately just hasn't worked out. Even the Pure Saiyan's lead is just not something that's super crucial. So yeah. And then finally the AGL, LR, Bulma, and Goku, just also a unit that's gonna chow up some of your Kais and just leave you in not a good space. On top of that, I'm also gonna definitely put Strength, General, Tao. World Tournament unit just doesn't work the way they want them to work. Right, now let's talk about some niche and useful units. So obviously Bardock, automatic, you should get him, pretty straightforward. Next we're going to talk about the niche but useful units. So that's going to be my good friend Master Roshi. Tons of support, tons of utility, sealing, stunning, great units, great support. Obviously can't handle high level content, but you can use this guy. I used him, for example, for the Heartbreaking Heroines event. Did a great job. B-Pan, niche but useful. Doesn't really fit on high level teams, but her active skill gives her a huge relevance. I've used her in a ton of LRZAs. She's got a lot she brings to the table, especially since she hits a lot of niche categories, and also her active skill does some great setup capabilities. Next, we're going to talk about our good friend Hachiak, and on top of that, we're going to have, I think we're going to put him here. So Hachiak is niche but useful. He has a lot of defensive mechanics against pure Saiyans and hybrid Saiyans, and he's really helpful for giant form. So although he's quite costly and he's niche, I do think he's really someone you can get, although he's not someone that would be at the front of my list. Like, I'd probably grab a whole bunch of other units, even maybe Captain Ginyu over him first. So maybe I should move this up. Yeah, there we go. In terms of other units, Babidi and Dabura, also a battlefield unit, also costly but worth it. They sync up amazingly. Aha, there was one more I was missing. They sync up amazingly with the Prime Battle, Babidi and Boo, and that unit is really one that you should be getting, and they're gonna go right up here. They link up great, they work really well with each other, they synergize great. They're one of the more fun free-to-play duos, especially for like content where you can debuff. They're super helpful. SBR, ESBR, Ultimate Clash. I think both of these units are great. They're quite costly, so they're someone you may not want to consider straight away. These guys are fairly easy to get, being a Prime Battle unit. Then we take a look at Metal Cooler. Metal Cooler, honestly, I'm going to probably put him here at not worth it. His leader skill is decent. His support's okay. Like, he's just okay. Like, if someone said, do you want me to spend 1.6 million battlefield currency on Cooler, probably would say no, don't do that. Cell is definitely to get. He's super helpful for Ultimate Clash. His debuffing is amazing. He's easy to get as a Prime Battle unit, and I really find him to be really, really good. Gohan, niche but useful. So not hard to get. Him and Goku, this Goku and this Trunks, all drop from Super Battle Road, and they're easy A's from Extreme Super Battle Road. What makes this Gohan somewhat usable is that when a Goku's in rotation, he gets 50% damage reduction, and that can make him a decent tank for early game. He meshes really well with this full power Goku, and I think that makes him really, really useful. Then in terms of everything else, so it's a little bit difficult now because like the list is kind of thinning out, but basically in terms of like units you may probably want to get that are going to be helpful, so I think, for example, Goku, super easy A, free to play, Prime Battle unit, honestly really quite good. I think you should definitely consider getting him. He's got some good flex utility. He links really poorly, but he is solid. For Goku and Arale, they will eventually get an easy A at some point, so I think they are going to be really quite good. Same with the Goku, Bulma, and Krillin, who I think are really solid still, but also are going to get an easy A in future, so are quite good. Jackie Chun, same thing, great for DB Saga, great for World Tournament, will get an easy A, will be quite good. The trio, the Pilaf trio, also great. All three of these, by the way, are great, and you should definitely get them, but they're not necessary because 1, A, they're a little bit niche with DB Saga, and 2, they are necessarily not right up to speed with where they want to be, but they will probably get easy A's at some point, which makes them quite good. Tien and Chaozu are not usable, unfortunately, and even Goku and Gohan just aren't really a unit that I would spend a lot of time trying to get. Trunks and Bulma also, they're not bad. Like, they're not bad. They're just, even here, maybe you could put them here, that they're niche but useful with Goku's family and Vegeta's family. But by the time you get them, like by the time you've cleared the SPR and the ESPR to have their EZAs and to have them at their power, your teams, the units you're going to be using, the state your box will be in, just won't be at the point where they're going to be super useful units. And I think that's something to bear in mind. Niche but useful, definitely my boy Yamcha Puar. Huge damage dealer. Same with good old Demon King Piccolo. The old one, the tech one. In fact, I'd probably put him under definitely, but he is costly. You do kind of need to get him from the World Tournament. He is very useful. Same with Yamcha and Puar. I think they are very useful damage dealers in certain situations, which I think is quite helpful. And then I'd probably say this in terms of everything else. I find that honestly, Gohan is average at best. Very, very niche, too limited to Exploding Rage, and just not that great. We have the Dr. Wheeler, very niche, easy to get, so very easy to get. Again, very similar to Hachiak in that he is, how can I say, quite niche, has a lot of benefits against certain types of enemies, but can 100% be used quite well. And being a prime battle unit is quite easy to get. Master Roshi or Grandpa Gohan, definitely costly to get. His World Tournament unit requires a lot of investment, but I think he's very fun, very cool, and definitely can be quite worth it. And then finally, I'm just going to leave him here because you do get him automatically. The Strength Goku. But by the time you get him, like if you were to start Dokkan today and get him, you're just not going to find usability for him. So he's automatic, but yeah, just literally because he's strictly automatic, he's a login reward. So yeah, that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you want more information on these units. And yeah, that basically covers it from my side. See you in the next one. Bye.